Isabel, welcome to the Sound of Social podcast. Finally, you've made it. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Very good, very good. How's your week been?
Yeah, good, busy. Very
Busy
busy.
as always.
Yeah.
So, when we were putting this podcast together, my producer looked at people that have really had a positive impact on different sectors, and you came up regarding the body positive kind of vibe in the fashion world.
Yeah.
Um, I want to start off with really finding out how you became a body positive influencer, if you want to call it
So,
that.
yeah. So basically, I was doing fashion, buying and merchandising at university at
Which
Manmet.
uni was that? Money Met.
Manmet.
All
But
right.
I ended up being a uni dropout.
Okay.
So, but when I was at uni, when we was talking about like getting experience for jobs and everything, they were like the most important thing is you getting on social media. But I used to have absolutely no confidence. So like there's years of like probably like 4 years gone by and there's like not one outfit picture of me, even though I
Yeah.
love fashion. I just didn't want them pictures taken of me.
Yeah.
So when they were like you need to like start posting fashion content on Instagram, I was like, oh right, okay.
Yeah.
So I basically just like wiped my Instagram of like all my normal like photos like you just like post with your friends and from nights out and stuff. And I was like, right, okay, I'll start like going out and like taking outfit pictures and stuff. So basically just started doing that. And it was actually when I went traveling around America for 6 weeks in 2019, I think. It'll be 3 years ago this summer. And I started taking outfit pictures then, and then like I just had this like sudden burst of confidence. I think because I was in America and I was just like,
Yeah.
it just felt different. So yeah, so I started taking loads of like outfit pictures and stuff then, and then basically when COVID started, that's just like my following was just started growing rapidly then, and then it kind of I was like obviously opening up about how I'd not taken any fashion pictures or like full body photos in years because I had no
Mm.
confidence, and then all of a sudden I just started like gaining more and more confidence every day. So then I just started talking about it, like all my experiences and my feelings, and then that's where it all
So it's
started.
kind of an organic process that you went through, rather
Yeah, like
than
I never ever planned on becoming like a body positive influencer or even an influencer. Like I always thought I'd be
would you
like,
classify yourself as an influencer?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because I work with all the
You've got the
brands.
power.
Yeah, I do everything, and it's hard sometimes because sometimes, obviously on like different platforms, you've got to kind of keep up with everything. But I feel like I'm still learning every day,
Mm.
and yeah. So I never set out to become one,
Yeah,
but
it's just a natural
yeah.
process that ended up becoming. So how do you think the modeling industry and the fashion industry has changed over the last few years, especially towards plus size women
Um,
or men?
I think when it comes to the actual modelling industry side of things, if you see a lot of plus size models, they're obviously fashion industry standard plus size, but in terms of they're actually straight size models. So that's why I think it's so important to have people like me who are actually plus size. So I'm a size 22. I'm 5'4". You'd probably never see me on a Boohoo website modelling the item,
Never
but
say never.
the plus size people are shopping on Boohoo and they're seeing these pictures and they can't relate to that girl wearing. They don't have a clue what it's going to look like because that girl is not plus size. She's probably a size 10 or 12, and they're putting her as a plus
I
size
see.
model.
Okay.
I think as the modelling industry is very.
Is that done intentionally, do you think?
I think so, and there's been a lot of articles recently about like models have been saying like that they have like hip pads to create like this perfect hourglass.
Ah,
Obviously, from a business point of view, they're going to think, well, this is probably going to sell more than actually having a fat person or a plus size person wearing that product. But then, if you go on a social media side of things, you see so many people say, like, I've ordered this and I didn't have a clue what it was going to look like because the plus size model is not actually plus size, she's like a size 10 or 12. So that's why I think it's so important that you have people like me who are like constantly showing the new clothes and stuff because they can actually see, oh yeah, there's what it looks like on a body type like mine,
so
sort of thing.
do you think? it's more and more brands are adapting to it because I've seen
I
it
think,
mostly in the fast fashion world. Do you think more and more brands are going to adapt to this, or do you see it just being a phase that it's just trendy and that's what they're going to do and then move on?
I think more obviously more brands are definitely seeing that there's a massive market for plus size clothing and that they want to hop into that market. It's just about doing it in the right way. And so yeah, I think the modelling industry maybe has not changed so much. I think actually maybe ASOS is quite like you see ASOS being pretty diverse. Like I've seen like girls with hearing aids and like a few women can like suffer with a condition called PCOS where they have like excess like body hair and stuff. And I've seen like a model with like quite hairy arms and stuff. So I feel like they're pretty inclusive, and some brands do tend to have like maybe bigger models, but in the fast fashion industry, not so.
So you'd say it's very early.
Yeah, I think there's still a lot of development. I think I've seen in the style. I know. I think they're one to watch of. Sorry
It's all right.
about model sizing. Um, yeah, so in the style, I think they did a campaign and they had like a model in maybe like 8 sizes. I think their range went from like a
Wow.
size 4 to size 28 or something. And they
Wow.
also did um, the clothes in petite and tall, but in all of them sizes, which I think is like the first. That's obviously a massive amount of product to make. So I feel like they were, I think, one of like the first companies to do that.
And
Um,
what's your opinion on fast fashion then?
I think it's a very sticky one because obviously for plus size people we don't have a lot of options that aren't fast fashion. Years ago when I was like, like if I go into the Trafford Centre, I couldn't buy an outfit probably. Primark I could. That might be like one of the only shops, and a lot of companies. So like when I was younger and I'd go shopping with my friends, I could get into a store. They can all pick whatever they wanted up, but I would just be left stood there like not being
Yeah.
able to find anything because it wasn't available in my size. But they would have like a little bit of plus size, maybe like I'll shop online if you want the bigger sizes. And then obviously the PLT, Nasty Gal, Boohoo, like a lot of the fast fashion brands all started popping up, and they were the first brands for me to actually see trendy clothes that my friends were wearing in my size. So in a way, I feel like have they will have paved the way for a lot of brands to go and be more size inclusive. But then also, there's just still not much offering out there for not fast fashion for.
Is that on the high street? You saying there's not a lot of offering?
Well, on the high, I feel like, I, would you class the high street brands as fast fashion?
Yeah, I suppose you're right there. I mean, is there a lot of offering? Would you say? Is there more?
On the
So
high
what?
street,
Yeah.
no,
Okay.
there's still nothing. But I feel like fast fashion tends to be online. It tends to
And
be
what would be your top three brands for plus size women in that wanted fashionable clothes?
um ASOS would be number one. Nasty Gal, and then for like more premium quality, I'd say like Simply Be does really good plus size, but that's not Simply Be. I wouldn't say a fast fashion.
No,
Um,
they're more. They're not fast fashion. No,
yeah, they're
no.
not fast fashion. But then like the actual worst fast fashion brands is probably Zara.
Oh
Like
no, really.
you can go to Zara on a Monday and then you go there on a Wednesday and it's complete different stuff. Even though I don't fit in it, I still like to go and look round
Yeah,
and maybe look at the accessories because that might be all I can get my hands on.
I'm sure that will change very soon. I'm
I
sure.
don't know. Zara like to tease. I think they posted a photo on Instagram of like a what was a plus size model. I think she was like a size 14 or something. But everyone was like, "Oh my god, is Zara gonna start doing plus size?" And I created this big hype, and then still no. But
So, as an influencer,
yeah,
what what changes would you like to see in the industry, the way brands approach you or work with you? So, from our point of view, so what I'm trying to say is, do you like the current way you get sent a product and you're going to give your own opinion, wear it, put some pictures up, put a video up? What changes would you like to see happen?
Well, I would love, obviously, a lot of like straight size influencers. They get like invited down to stores to have a look at the product and shop around stuff. Whereas I can't do any of that side of things because it's still not available in the stores. So like I've worked with H&M recently, and online I think they go up to size 30, but in the stores it tends to stop at a size 16. They have a few like extra large products which might go up to a 20, but I would love like to be able to do that side of things and go in stores and stuff. But even when I did go to like a blogger event, there was like rails with all clothes for like bloggers and stuff to pick from, and there was no plus size stuff there, even though there was like 10 plus size bloggers.
Oh
So
no,
yeah, more fun. Like,
someone's getting sacked in the morning.
but yeah, it's just I think obviously I like how I get to choose. So a lot, obviously, brands they might have like a certain brief to go off, but it's still all everything I show is like things I've picked and I like myself. Like I'm not like getting sent a dress that hey I have to take a photo in it and then that's that. So
So you're more authentic to what you're doing,
yeah, I
whereas
would
it's
just
what you feel, what you like, what you believe
yeah
in. Do you
yeah
think so many brands are just going out there picking influencers and just forcing it down them, and the influencers end up doing it because they're getting paid for it, and there's no
yeah
authenticity there?
yeah, and I think you can definitely tell. But like I did, so I work with Fashion Nova, which is an
Yep,
American, very
yep,
fast fashion brand.
yeah, very fast.
And they just do it so you can pick a certain amount of items per month, and then I film like my TikTok hauls or I do my Instagram posts. But I'll show the bad items as well as the good because I've done an order from America. I don't know what the quality or the material or everything's going to be like. So like on my hauls, I will be like, this is dreadful, blah blah blah, and I'll be like, but on the other hand, I love this. So I feel like people appreciate that honesty, and people like to see some things that are bad. But sometimes I'll give my opinion like, oh, this is awful, and then everyone will be like, oh, we really like that. So I think it's good to show the good and bad because obviously everyone thinks different. But I know why I think it's bad because I can feel
Yeah,
the material and the fit and everything of it. So
and
yeah,
and from an influencer point of view, if we look at the social media landscape, which
mm.
which platforms, in your opinion, are really moving forward, and which ones are kind of dying off?
I feel like Instagram is dying massively. But I feel like it's trying so hard not to die because of TikTok. Um, I have never really been like a YouTube person, but I know
Mhm.
that's still really up there for a lot of people. Like I don't really watch any YouTubers to be honest. I think I've got like a short attention span, so for me TikTok works because it's short, snappy clips that are
You
funny.
like,
Yeah, they grab my attention. Whereas YouTube, sometimes I find like it's a bit of a. Sometimes I can get really on with YouTubers, but sometimes not. But yeah, I think TikTok is.
do you, because you
But I think a lot of the if you look at a stereotypical Instagram influencer, a lot of their likes and following is based solely on their looks and not the personality. Whereas
Mhm.
TikTok, they've gained
It's the
this
opposite.
audience. Yeah, they've gained this audience from the personality. You've got people on there that aren't stereotypically gorgeous or whatever, and people aren't following them because of that. They're like, they're funny, they're nice, like they get on with all the other stuff, which is kind of what's important. And then that's really where they seem the most authentic. So I feel like
And
the marketing from on TikTok, I feel like it would definitely have more impact than
do you
the
think
marketing from Instagram.
do you think Instagram was always, so if you look at the history of Instagram, it was a photo sharing platform, and then
Yeah,
it saw a cool feature that Snapchat did, and it
yeah,
adapted that, which became
stories.
stories, and then it thought we're going to start doing video, and then they got a bit confused and thought
Yeah,
IGTV, which was a really confusing thing
yeah,
they added in. And now they're trying to simplify it all and saying all videos are just one, you've got video or reels. Do you
yeah,
think they are just really either lost or slow to react, whereas TikTok is innovating more?
yeah. I feel like Instagram does just copy every other platform. Like I feel like anything else that happens that they think is good, they're like, we need to do this as well. But I think people would love that app a lot more if it just was solely photos. I still think the stories is a good idea because people have got the
Yeah,
photos, which so can be quite professional, or how they've edited it and got it like how they want it, and then stories is like the personable bit because Snapchat in a way you don't. Well, I personally don't have loads of random people follow or subscribe to my Snapchat. Like my Snapchat will be like me drunk on a night out on a side over
yeah.
things. Whereas in my Instagram story, I'll be like talking about topics and like because you can do polls and question boxes and stuff. So I feel like Instagram story is a good place to interact.
Do you think they got really confused with trying to just add so much into it?
Yeah, I think people will definitely appreciate it more if it was just what it,
Simplified.
yeah, if what it was originally. Because a lot of people aren't into videos. Like a lot of people do just want to see pictures, but then, or people might just like to have a separate platform that they go on to watch them videos. Because I
And
know, like, with my TikTok videos, so I can post like a clothing haul or like a proper like thought out transit cool with all the cool transitions and everything on TikTok. But then I can also just upload like a really silly video and post that on my newsfeed, and it can be like the complete contrast. Whereas Instagram, if I'm sharing reels, I would only share my reels that are like my pre, like my fashion ones that have like more look a bit more professional. So
do you like the feature now? Obviously, TikTok's pushing live. What's your thoughts around live
oh,
and the
live
shopping element?
videos.
Yeah.
I think it's good, the shopping element. I think it is like a new way of shopping. I don't know personally if I would sit on TikTok and shop like that. I don't know. I do end up watching them though when they come up on my newsfeed. Like, even if they're like it's a straight size, like size 12 girl that's showing clothes that don't even go in my size, I'll just end up sitting there watching. Like they just hook me in. So I do like the live video element thing. And I used to work at a boutique years ago, and we used to do the live videos on Facebook for this boutique, and
All right.
it,
Okay.
it does sell the clothes. Like that's what like people love the live videos.
It's that QVC element, isn't it? It's that live television
Yeah,
element. It's what it
there's
basically is.
yeah, and there's a blogger called Emily Rose Maloney, I think, from Essex, and she did one on a few weeks ago on a Sunday, and she called it Sunday Styling, and it was for the company Never Fully Dressed, and I was watching her for about an hour and a half, just trying on all these different dresses and like showing how to style it. She was just in like her wardrobe at her, like she had a massive walk-in wardrobe, but it was just dead like personable and everything, and I feel like they just hook you in. I can just sit watching them for ages. But on the other hand of me going live, it's so much
Yeah.
pressure. So it
I
can be like the
think.
most nerve-wracking thing ever. But I do think it's a
Yeah.
great way to build that connection with your audience because people love to engage on TikTok. People love to
I
share.
find it very interesting as well. I think it's gonna how it changes, and like you said, some people are comfortable on video and some are not.
Yeah,
So how does that dynamic work? But I
yeah,
quite like that concept of the brand giving the influencer, letting them doing a live from their own bedroom and seeing what
yeah,
happens. It's quite personable, and I
yeah.
think that's what works best.
Yeah, because when I remember when we first did it, when I worked at this boutique, and like the first ever live we did, we was all like, "Oh my god!" Like it was so nerve wracking. And then like just after you do a few, it don't even phase you anymore. Because I know my manager was like at the time she's maybe in her 40s. She was like, "I'm not going on the camera. I'm not doing this. They just want to see you, young girls." And we're like, "No, your customer is." Like more middle-aged women, like they want to see you wear it. And then she finally got on, and obviously it's working well because she's still doing them every day now. So
So, what about as an influencer? And somebody might be listening or watching this that wants to be an influencer. One of the
mm,
questions we get asked a lot is, and I suppose there's no right answer for this, it's a matter of opinion. What's the best way of growing your audience from scratch, from zero?
um, I'd say find your niche, find what you actually enjoy. Don't copy anyone else because you'll try and copy them and it will show through all of your work and everything you post. You've just got to be like your absolute self. So yeah.
And from a strategy point of view, what platforms would you focus on? How would you go about? Should they be posting
Um,
daily, multiple
I
times in
think
a day?
I think it's great to get on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. I still haven't made it to YouTube. I don't know if I ever will, to be honest. But
I think you'd be perfect for it.
I would like to. I don't know. It's the editing side and all that. I'm
It's easy.
a bit,
There's an app called CapCut,
yeah.
CAP cut, and I think
Oh, and it's
60% of creators it's free. It adds subtitles in. It's drag and
okay.
drop. You color grade it. You can drag an intro in, drag an outro out, and you're done. It's
Okay,
literally that
I'll make
straight.
it my goal this week.
Yeah,
Try and
CapCut.
make,
Try that. Um,
yeah.
what about influencers looking at other revenue options? So like Patreon or something like that, or within YouTube, you can have these clubs where you can join in on. Have you tried anything like that? What's your thoughts regarding giving
What
exclusive content via paid? So have you heard of Patreon?
Patreon?
Yeah,
No.
it's like OnlyFans, but it's not
Oh,
OnlyFans, right?
exclusive.
So yeah, so within Patreon, you can have people that have a Patreon membership for, let's say, £5, 10, 15. You'll put exclusive content in there, personable things in there, what only your exclusive club get.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts around these extra revenue channels, and do you think it's a
Um.
good thing? And do you think Instagram should introduce something like that?
Um. I personally have never looked at doing anything like that. I feel like I'm quite open, and I'll just be happy for like, if I share some. I'm either happy sharing something or
Yeah.
I don't want to share something. So I don't know. I think maybe it does work. Obviously, there's a lot of people making mega books off OnlyFans and
Yeah,
stuff.
so with Patreon, it's exactly the same thing, but
Right, okay.
it hasn't got the stigma of what OnlyFans has got.
Or OnlyFans,
Um,
yeah.
with it, I
I think
think
I've
you,
seen people do like fitness
yeah,
guides and stuff like that,
yeah.
and like I guess you could do if you were gonna do like styling, more like proper styling, in-depth videos or something. Maybe it
I
could be
think Instagram are actually working on something like that, where you can have an exclusive. Twitter have an option like that,
people
where
can
you can
pay.
Yeah, it's a paid option where
I
you get
guess it's
exclusive content and things. So
yeah,
in Instagram's version, if I'm correct. So they'll only be them people that are part of the club, the fans will only
yeah,
be able to see certain stories, certain things you do,
yeah.
and it helps you generate more income. That's why they
Um,
want to do it, really.
I think it would be quite cool if I was like if you were to do like prop because a lot of people would love like one-on-one styling sessions. But say if you had a smaller audience on there, you could maybe do stuff like that and generate more income. But
And one of my last questions is, what are the pros and cons of being an influencer?
the pros is so I have my own account and then I have my joint account with my friend Ellie where we do style, not size. So she's a size 10 to 12 and then I'm a size 22. So the pro for me is getting to work with her. I meet up with her like 4 or 5 times a week. We go out, take photos, we're filming videos. Like sometimes it can be stressful if ads are going wrong or we have to shoot something or we've done something wrong or whatever. But I do think it's like the best thing ever getting to work with my friend. And I think because I didn't anticipate doing it, I just like love every minute of it. Cons, I think
Or the downsides? Not what. So
downside.
yeah, the downsides.
Okay.
What people that somebody that's watching this or seeing this that might want to become might think it's all high flying
I
private
think
jets.
I think the downside could be like you never really switch off. So like I work at Nando's part time as well as doing influencing, and I keep hold of Nando's because I get that weekly income. Whereas influencing,
Mm.
I can be waiting like 2 months for a payment or whatever. So it's just not steady enough for me yet. Um, and I think obviously at Nando's, I go do my shift, I'll come home, and then that's that. Whereas like with this, I literally am on my phone all the time. Like my screen time's ridiculous, and sometimes I
What
don't
is
even.
your screen time?
It's like 10 to 12 hours a day
Wow.
if I'm not at work. But I'm literally from the moment I wake up in the morning, I'm like planning outfits with Ellie or what we're gonna do, and then back and forth with our manager or on WhatsApp all day. And then even if I'm like on TikTok, I'm like kind of market researching and as such because I'm like seeing what the trending songs are, and you've got to be. It's changing so
All the
fast.
time, all
It's
the time.
constant. So like I can save a sound and be like, oh, this is such a good sound, and then a week goes by and it's like, oh, well, no one's using that sound now. Like, so I feel like you've just got to be so on the ball with everything, and like you never want to miss a trick.
So it's just from your point of view, you love what you do, but the
Yeah,
downside is the time it takes, the planning,
yeah.
the stuff in the behind the scenes that people just don't see.
But then also my time feels a lot. I would much rather spend like my 10, 12 hours a day doing this and being on my phone and researching things on TikTok than like grafting my ass off at Nando's running around
Eh,
for an
I
8 hour
totally get that.
shift.
I
So
totally get that.
yeah.
I totally get that. And if people want to get in touch with you, for where are your main, what are your main channels? We'll put them in the description. But what are your main channels?
So Instagram and TikTok really. They're what I use.
And are your DMs open to everyone?
Yeah, anyone can message on Instagram. I don't think TikTok lets
No,
people who you don't follow
unless
back.
you follow back.
Yeah,
That's
unless
right.
you follow them, yeah. But anyone can message on Instagram. And I've got them, I joined Instagram with Ellie as
I'll put
well.
that in the description as well.
Yeah.
It's been an absolute pleasure finding out about you, your world. I'm going to keep a closer eye to your journey at Nando's now.
Hopefully
I,
Nando's will be ending soon.
yes, absolutely. But look, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for
Thank
taking time out
you.
of your busy day. I'll send you these links once they've gone live. Do have a listen and share, and have
Yeah,
a fabulous rest of the day.
you too. Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much. Bye.
Bye.